Good morning. It's Susie, and I'm headed to my radiation treatment. But, guys, I was watching some videos because I couldn't go to sleep. I had a coughing fit from my radiation cough. Anyway, so I was watching some videos and I ran across OhNoNora's where she was talking about she's got kind of some stalkers, that's worried about the fact that she's had different last names in her lifetime, which to me was amazing because as women, that happens a lot. Men kind of get born, and for the most part, they carry their last names to their death. But women, we tend to change our names when we get married or divorced or, you know, remarried and just whatever. So even though I will never even pretend that I would ever be as big of a target for Osa or whoever as Nora or any of the second gems. And I said gems, not gens. I like the gems better. But anyway, this girl's never going to be that kind of a target. I'm a never in. I am an old woman, but they're going to know my name before it's over with. So they might as well get to know me now, right? So I figured, I was sitting here thinking about it. Well, actually, I was in the shower. And I got to thinking, well, I'll just save them some time and I'll just tell them all my names. And they can just look it up. And any of you out there that don't like me or whatever, you can just look it up too. Everything's public knowledge. It's just a public record, whatever they want to call it. I'm pretty easy to find. So I'm just going to go over a real quick little jot through um, my name changes throughout my lifetime in the last 57 years. And then I'll probably do one in the next day or two that tells about the time that I was arrested. Yes, this old lady. I wasn't so old then, though. It's been a few years ago. But I got arrested and I sat my butt in the county jail for 19 hours, most of which I was shackled on my wrists and my ankles. And if you saw my cankles, you would know that hurt. Because, I mean, I don't know. They had those things bracketed on down now, and I've got some cankles. Always have. So anyway, I'm just going to get started on my name changes. So way back, long, long time ago, in a land far, far away, there was this little princess that was born to her parents, and their names was Doris and Richard Bowens. This was June 7th of 1966. And this little dumpling was born to them, and they named her Susie K. Bowens. Now, that came as a shock to some of my family because I think I was supposed to be a Tracy, or there was another one, I can't remember. Oh boy, I can't remember, but I was supposed to have a different name. But right before my mom went into labor and had me, me and this thing are not going to get along. Right before she had me, she saw those Susie Q cupcakes, the little chocolate with the cream stuff in them, and she just loved that name and just loved how it was spelt. So guess what? She named me Susie. She didn't name me Susie Q. She named me Susie K. And that's how I got my first name. And I think my addiction to chocolate. So time goes by, and Princess Susie's parents didn't live happily ever after. And they ended up getting a divorce. And so, as sad as it was, Susie's dad went off and he remarried and had a son. And Susie's mom went off and remarried. And there wasn't any of that, nothing was going on there. It was all up in, or they just outgrew each other. But anyway, so Susie's mom, Susie being me, remarried to a man named Larry. Well, we all moved off to California, and my dad still lived in Texas. And Larry his family lived in Oklahoma. So y'all can just check all this out. I'm going to tell you everything, okay? No secrets. I mean, there's no sense in it. It's all public record. So, okay, so we moved to California and I start school. Well, it was a different time, y'all. And I wasn't seeing Richard, Daddy Richard anymore. He wasn't coming to see me and I wasn't going to go see him. And I mean, he's a great guy, but no big story there, just different time of life. So they signed me into school as Susie K. Thurman. Was I adopted? Nope. Was there anything legal that put me at that? Nope. But back in the day, it was a whole lot easier to do. So all of a sudden, Susie K. Thurman is born. Same girl. This one right here. Me. Susie goes all through school. All through school. She gets a Social Security card. Social Security card says Susie K. Thurman. She gets married after she gets out of high school. She graduates from high school. Diploma, Susie K. Thurman. Pretty much nobody ever questioned anything. Got married. Susie K. Thurman married a man named Gary Caudell. Yes. So my name changed to Gary, or not to Gary, but to Susie Caudell. So let's see, I've had Bowens. Where's my finger? I've had Bowens. I cannot find my finger on here. Oh, well, you get it. Bowens, Thurman, and Caudell. Now, Susie and Gary stayed married for 17 years, and she was, for this whole time, known as Susie Caudell. Fine with that name and everything. Susie and Gary, shame, didn't stay married. They married for 17 years, got a divorce. They raised 2 children, but they got a divorce. And now, she didn't go back to Thurman. She just went ahead and left it Caudell. Because, her daughter's name was Caudell, and she didn't hate the man or anything, and there was no reason to go back. And she knew by this point that she would remarry, and so her name would eventually change. And Susie, being the cheapskate that she is, decided to save the $200 that it cost to change her name back to Thurman when she could just stay Caudell, and it was, not a big deal, and that someday she'd get married, and her name would change anyway. Well, lo and behold, that day came. And she married, which means I married, Mark Oberholtz. Now, not Oberholt, not Overholtz, but Oberholtz. So get it right while you're spying. Good grief. It'll take you off on who knows what kind of tangents if you look at the wrong name. So anyway, it's spelt right down here on the deal. So then she changed her name to Susie K. Oberholtz. That's what my name is to this day. But there's a little side note. I never changed my Social Security card. So my Social Security card still reads Susie K. Thurman, which technically is a little fishy on if that's really my name or not, but I'm not going to complain. So on legal documents, I sign my name, Susie K. Thurman Oberholtz, and the IRS is fine with it. Everybody else is fine with it. My bank is fine with it. Everybody's fine with it. And that's what I do. So I was a Bowens, a Thurman, a Caudell, an Oberholtz, and a Thurman Oberholtz. It's 5 names, basically, in my 57 years. And I think that I might have Miss Nora beat. So there's that. This is the most ridiculous thing. I think, the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard of. I don't know if these people, if they just growing up in Scientology, and I don't mean that about the regular Scientologists that are, roped into it, tricked into it, born into it, whatever. I'm talking about the assholes in Scientology that are running it. And I don't know if they are just so stupid that they don't realize that women change their names as they get married, or, people change their names when they get adopted. There's a bunch of reasons why you could change your name. Good Lord, I could be in the witness protection deal. Who knows? But I've had four, names, but the fifth one that's kind of a combination of two. And so I just thought, just in case I ever cause a stink, which I completely pray I get to do, I just thought I would give them a little head start on spying on me. And they can just go ahead and have all that done. And then in a day or two, I'll tell the whole story about me uh, getting arrested, and it was all thrown out and all that. And I'll tell that whole story too, because that's fun. And that might be something they want to drag up and try to embarrass me with, but it don't embarrass me. It doesn't embarrass me at all. I just think it's stupid. But anyway, like I said, I am never going to be the threat to them that some of these others are. I could only hope to be as important in this battle as they are. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just give my information and just let them go at it. I know that they were all finding out about Shannon there in Chicago and some of the others. They've, dug up all the dirt on them. And as soon as I get past all this radiation and get some strength back, y'all, I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to protest somewhere. And they're going to learn my name. So they might as well learn all of them. All the names, y'all. Might as well learn all the names. So I'm going to go because I have got to get, I need to leave it. Oh, my dogs, my guard dogs. I got to go and I'll be back later.